What's up? How's it going? I am in full-on vacation mode. I don't know about you.
I'm surprised you're even here right now. Like, what are you doing here? We should not be here right now.
I don't know. If you guys are watching on YouTube, you can see that Ken and I both are in full-on vacation mode. We've got our sunglasses on. We don't have our swimsuits on. It's not that kind of show. You know?
Yeah. It's a PG show.
But we are here today to talk about vacations, which is why we have our beautiful sunglasses on. So we're going to be talking about summer plans and how to break to truly recharge. So stick around and we'll talk about summer.
Let's do this. Welcome to another episode of Focus on This, the most productive podcast on the internet so you can banish distractions, get the right stuff done, and finally start loving Mondays. I'm Ken Freire here with Marissa Hyatt.
Yeah.
Happy Monday!
Happy summer also.
Yes.
Marissa,
here. It's finally here. It's exciting. But the sad part is that most people, when they hit summer, they're just as busy. They don't know how to slow down, and they don't know how to actually take a break.
Yeah.
It's kind of overwhelming.
It is really true, and it's really sad. I feel like we actually do a pretty good job at this of taking time off at full focus. But a lot of people are not good at taking time off and recharging. So hopefully we can help you to slow your roll.
Just a little bit.
Recharge and rejuvenate. So we have kind of an announcement that we want to share. So
you have an announcement? What is this, something that I don't know about?
No, Ken, you know. You know. I know you know.
Oh, that's good.
Hopefully you know, because otherwise it's going to be really awkward. Okay, so guys, we here at Full Focus it is a busy season for us, and we are actually going to be taking the next couple of months off of recording Focus on This. Now, before you get really sad, because I know all of you are going to be sad,
this is your favorite show.
Because this is your favorite show.
Yeah, you want to listen to us and Nick making fun of us in the background?
Yeah. We are going to be releasing our favorite episodes from the last several months throughout the next few weeks. And this is a preview, and you guys are hearing this first. So I don't think we've actually announced this anywhere, but
we haven't.
Y'all are our people, and I am also the CMO, so I get to decide how we're rolling this out. We are coming out as an organization with a brand new podcast, which I am so stoked about.
It's been not me and Ken for months.
Yeah, it's not me and Ken though. So
I know that's the downside.
Disappointing for sure. No, we are releasing a new podcast at the end of June, and we're so stoked. This is going to be a brand new podcast with my dad, Michael Hyatt, and my sister, Megan Hyatt Miller, who is our CEO here at Full Focus. If you have listened to either of their previous podcasts, you know they are amazing and always have great info. And this show is going to be awesome because it is all about how to help you get the double win, what we call winning at work and succeeding at life. And this is an interview show, and they are interviewing top experts on all areas of life. So we're not talking just business. We're talking about health and wellness. We're talking about sleep. We're talking about productivity, relationships,
community, finances.
All of it.
Yeah, all of it. All the 9 life domains.
All the 9 life domains. And the show is called the Double Win Podcast. So stay tuned for more info. We will be releasing that, like I said, at the end of June. And we are so stoked. But stay tuned for that. But we've got our hands full over here. And so Ken and I are going to be taking a little bit of a hiatus from the podcast.
So to be clear, listeners, and just so in case things happen, they're not going anywhere. This feed will be focused on this with Ken and Marissa.
Yes.
Just so that's clear.
We will be back in August with brand new episodes. And we are so excited. We've started mapping those out. And you can always think of this as like new season of the podcast that's going to be coming, and we are so stoked about it. So definitely don't stop listening. We'll be back in August. So you want to stay tuned, stay engaged, keep listening. And we're actually going to be releasing some of those Double Win podcasts on this feed when they come out. So don't unsubscribe or anything. I think we should dive in though, because we did promise the people that we were going to talk about how to have a vacation and how, I don't know about y'all, but I feel like I always previously, before I did this, would go on a vacation and come home and be like, I need a vacation from the vacation I was just on. Like it was so exhausting, stressful. Maybe I didn't unplug very well from work, or I just was nonstop. And if that resonates with you, then what we're going to share today is going to be helpful. It's going to be a little bit of a short episode, but it's going to be super helpful.
Or on the flip side, this is going to be extremely helpful because there are going to be people who, like myself, you feel that hard deadline of a vacation, and then all of a sudden you feel like you got 50 different things that you got to get done before you go on vacation, and it's overwhelming. Yes. You're working more. It's like, no, how do you set yourself up to win before vacation, during vacation, and post vacation?
So true.
So let's jump in.
All right. Well, a lot of people struggle with vacationing. This is maybe you who are listening. You're like, yeah, I'm not that great at it. But it's really necessary for us to recharge. But a lot of people don't feel like they can step away from their work. It just feels too difficult or too nerve-wracking to step away. And for some, it might be because you don't feel like you get paid enough to take actual paid time off. Now, this is interesting, Ken, because nearly half actually of US workers do not use all the PTO that they do get. This is according to Pew Research. And what's interesting here at Full Focus, actually years ago, we used to have unlimited PTO policy where people could take off as much time as they wanted. We used to have to beg people to take time off. Like they just wouldn't do it. They felt too responsible or too scared to, or whatever. And so I don't know if we ever had anybody abuse taking PTO too much. So most people are struggling to take enough time off. We're here to give you permission, first of all. So take time off. If you need a permission slip, you've got it right here. I know that I personally love it. Ken, I know you love it. It's so important for us.
Yep, 100%. So I think that you mentioned this already, but part of the reason that people don't feel like they can take time off is that they're just really responsible. They have it and they got results that they got to do, right? And then at the other time, the flip side of that is that sometimes they just have bosses that are a little like mean, right? They're like, if I take time off, what's going to happen, right? Am I going to not have my job? Like it's almost job security that they feel like they got to push. But in fact, we know that the more you rejuvenate, the more productive you'll be.
And so today we're going to give you guys a free tool called the Vacation Optimizer. And this is going to really help empower you to take the vacation you need and deserve, and to set up your whole team, no matter if you're the boss or just a contributor on the team, for ultimate success, so that you feel like you can actually unplug on your vacation, which is kind of the whole point of a vacation. So you can go ahead and get your Vacation Optimizer for free at fullfocus.co/vacation. That's fullfocus.co, not .com, /vacation. All right, so let's dive into what the Vacation Optimizer is and the various parts of that.
All right, so part one of the Vacation Optimizer is the vacation vision. This is where you're going to describe what you want from your vacation. And I find this fascinating because most people don't think about that. They're just like, oh yeah, I'm going on vacation, but it's like, what do you actually want to get out of it is extremely important.
Well, okay, so this is a good timely conversation, because here at Full Focus, the first week of July, we actually shut down as a company. We call it our summer week of rest. We really encourage our team to take vacations during this time because nobody is working. So unlike normal times in the year when you come back from vacation and you're like have a load of emails and messages and a pile of work to do. This is kind of the one time that doesn't really happen because nobody's here to be like giving you a ton of work, which is pretty awesome. And so during this week, and I'm curious what you're going to do with that week, but I am actually going on a retreat, a hiking and yoga retreat to Glacier National Park. And I'm going with my best friend. And for part of that week, we're actually going early. We're both going on the retreat, but we're going early and we're both going to go to Yellowstone and to the Grand Tetons National Park. So we're going to do a lot of hiking and just nature activities and all the things. And she and I actually this week have been planning all this. And so we booked our flights and now we're trying to figure out what we want this vacation to be. And she's a mom. She has a high special needs child who just went through a major surgery. So like she really needs this time off. I have had a lot on my plate with work and I really need this time off. And so we want to maximize our vacation. And so we've been plotting out the kind of vision that we want, which is so helpful because otherwise, like, how do you make plans?
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
What are you doing for yours?
I find it interesting that you're going to Glacier because I'm going to be in Glacier.
What? I didn't know this.
No, I'm totally kidding.
Oh, I was like, hey.
No, actually, one of my closest friends lives in. It would have been funny. We contemplated going that week because one of my close friends, all of us, that group of guys that I go with every 18 months and hang out with, a few of them live in Montana near Glacier, and they're doing like a 4th of July retreat. So they're like, hey, Ken, can you come? Bring the family. And it's just too complicated to try to get everyone there at that time. But if we did, we would have been there at the same time. No, we are right now, we're staying home. There's a lot of projects that have been looming that I finally get to do. So nice. I could check off from my personal life that I'm like, it's going to happen. And there's some passion projects that I want to start that are going to happen then. And then just relax, like really. We're going to be at the pool a lot with my kids. They love the pool time. So there we go. That's what I plan on doing. So the first part is the vacation vision, which is what you want to get out of it. Then that leads to part 2, which is your personal rationale. This is why it matters to you. Like, what are you actually going to gain and what you'll miss out on if you don't take this vacation?
Why is it exciting? Yeah. Why do you care to go on this trip or wherever you're going? Like, why do you really care about this? And yeah, like what's at stake if you don't do it? And maybe this is your mental health. Like maybe you're at a point where you're just wiped out and you're exhausted and you know you need a break. Maybe that's it. Maybe, Ken, for you, it's your wife is going to be mad if you don't get all this stuff done, around the house.
I think I'm going to be mad if I don't get this stuff done.
Yeah, maybe you're going to be mad. I know for me, I mean, I really wanted this vacation because I need to get into nature. I'm just feeling that like serious desire to get back into nature and for community. I'm going on a retreat, so there's going to be a lot of that, which I'm really excited about.
The next part is the rejuvenation recipe. Walk us through this.
Yeah, so this is where you are going to design your vacation through a series of easy questions. Ken, I would love for you to share which of these questions is your favorite.
Marissa, I'm glad you asked. One of my favorite questions is, what do you want to eat, where, and with who?
Of course it is. Honestly, this is kind of my favorite question too, because like one of the main reasons when I travel and choose a place to go, I base it on the food. Now, this Glacier is probably not known for the food.
No.
But most of my trips I base on the food. So yes. I love that question.
Yes.
I personally love the question of how will you nurture your mind and your heart? I think this is often overlooked on vacation. Again, especially if you're doing like a family vacation or something like that, it's easy to really get swept up in that whole process with them and kind of forget like, how are you really going to nurture yourself? And even if it's just taking a little bit of time away for yourself, for me, I'm literally going on a hiking and yoga retreat. And so there's going to be a lot of that. Being with community, being in nature, all of those things are really going to contribute to making me feel super rejuvenated, which I am so stoked about. But there are a total of 8 questions in this section about rejuvenation that's going to help you create your recipe for rejuvenation. So make sure, like we mentioned, go to fullfocus.co/vacation to get this so you can see all those questions. All right, part 4 is your upcoming task and projects. So this is where you are really able to kind of clear your desk before you leave. I feel like people forget this all the time before vacation is they kind of forget to think through what's coming up. What does your team need to be aware of? Is there any information you need to share with them so they're totally set up for success? And what is coming up? Like, set yourself up for success too when you get back. If you're going to be gone for a week, what do you have coming up the week after you get back? So you can be ready and prepared for those things. So you're not just walking in the door on Monday when you get back from vacation to a full calendar of meetings that you haven't even thought about for at least a week.
I think this is probably the thing that I love the most is just thinking about not just a task before I have to leave, but while I'm gone, what stuff would come up.
Yeah.
I'm notoriously, I would forget that part, you know. I'm notoriously about forgetting other things too. So yeah. So the next one is part 5, which is team input. So this is all about helps you capture the feedback from your team members on any open loops that you may have on these tasks or projects that you need to bring up. And if there's any possible solutions that you need to bring up or address, this is the perfect time to do it.
Yeah. We call this our like PTO plan when we leave. And unlike our summer week of rest when everybody's leaving, it's really helpful and just consider it to set your team up for success while you're gone. And so if you know there's things that they're going to be asking about, or if an outside vendor will reach out about something that maybe they need approval on or something, you can give that to them ahead of leaving. Or if you just know, like, this thing might break while I'm gone and you need to know how to fix it. So because if you don't do this, it's likely that a team member or your boss is going to end up having to call you while you're gone. And let me tell you, there's nothing worse than being on vacation and you're having the best time. And then all of a sudden you get a call from somebody on your team and you immediately go back into work mode. And it's difficult to pull back out of that back into vacation mode.
Yeah.
So really talk to your team before you leave, make sure there's nothing that they need from you until you're back.
Yeah, 100%. And then that leads us to part 6, which is a check item as you activate your plan, right? A checklist. So this is just like basically a whole list of things that you should think about. For example, like schedule any team meetings that you need to hand off stuff, blocking the time on your calendar. This happened to me probably a few months ago where I was going to go out on vacation for a few days and I thought I put it in my calendar. I didn't. And then some people scheduled a bunch of meetings and they're like, Ken, aren't you going to be here? I'm like, oh, my bad. And then this is like create an emergency contact plan. Like in case you're gone, who can other people reach out to that is not you?
Yes.
Right.
And at what point do they need to contact you?
Yes.
Like, for instance, if you're a site developer and the site goes down, well, they probably do need to call you at that point. If you are an ad buyer, for instance, and Facebook goes down, your boss is probably going to need to call you to figure out how to handle that. But what are the things that you actually don't need to handle that you can identify for the team? Here's who you should actually go to for these questions, these issues, or for this approval.
Yeah, 100%. And then the last one is just inform others. Like make sure you let your colleagues know, clients know, just people, right? That you're going to be gone, when you're going to be gone. Make sure you put your email reminder on, put your Slack notifications off, right? Like all these little things that you need to do that sometimes we forget. And sometimes you remember when you're at the airport getting ready to get on the plane that you're supposed to put it on.
It's true.
That's really never happened to me, but I'm just hypothetically speaking on that one.
Well, like we mentioned, all of this that we talked about today is in our free vacation optimizer. You can get that at fullfocus.co/vacation. We are going to be back in early August, so don't go anywhere. We're going to have episodes releasing while we are gone, some of our best episodes on Focus on This, and the Double Win podcast, which is releasing later this month, will also be released here on this feed. So make sure you don't go anywhere. We've got some really exciting stuff coming up. And otherwise, we're going to be seeing y'all on the flip side of our vacations in August.
Thanks for joining us on Focus on This.
This is the most productive podcast on the internet, so please share it with your friends and be sure to join the Full Focus Planner community on Facebook so you can benefit from the creativity and encouragement of people chasing big goals just like you.
We'll be here in August with another great episode. Until then, stay
Stay
vacation.
traveling.